been approximately 1 month with iPhone Air. Here are my final thoughts on Apple's thinnest iPhone. Good day, you beautiful people. So when Apple announced iPhone Air, I had the same question. Who wanted these thinner phones? Now, I will preface by saying that I asked the exact same question when the S25 Edge was announced, though holding these super thin smartphones really did impress me. When I first touched the S25 Edge, it felt so good in hand. I was like, there may be a case for this phone. It's just one of those things that you have to touch it for yourself, I said. And then when I finally got to touch and try the iPhone Air, I thought the same. Except this felt better in my hand. It was sleeker, more solid feeling, I'd say. But then I went back to the question of if you could make phones this thin, well wait, this is actually the bumper. If you can make phones this thin and not have a problematic battery, why not just make a new and improved iPhone mini? I can only hazard an answer, and that would be screen size. We're always on our phone screens, and I guess it didn't really make sense to shrink it that way. Now, this point is even made more apparent when you put the iPhone Air side by side with the mini. As you can see, that screen real estate really does make a difference, and it doesn't hurt that this is a good screen on a phone. Now, in the last month that I've used the iPhone Air, I will say it still doesn't fit a lot of my tiny pockets or teeny purses, but I will say that it is easier on my hands, specifically my stick-thin wrists. It's less taxing to hold, and this thing is so thin and light that after around a week's use of this, I picked up the iPhone 16 that I used last year, and I was surprised at how thick and heavy that felt compared to this. The thinness, it really does spoil you. Problems with it. And of course, my use case includes browsing, a lot of open tabs, slight video editing, taking photos, a lot of social media. In general, I'd say that this phone is fast, responsive. You get same feels as other iPhones in the lineup. You see, that's the beauty of iPhones, I'd say. You won't really notice that much of a difference between, let's say, the performance of the Air versus the 17 or the 17 Pro unless you really push the phone to its limits and do something like very, very intensive. But like for my daily use cases, I had no problems at all. Now let's get to the big question that I always get asked about this phone. How is the battery life? I'll stop you there. It's nothing crazy. And obviously, this phone will not have the best battery life out of all the phones out there. I mean, we're getting 7,500 milliamp hour battery on smartphones now. It's crazy. But that is not what we have here. The iPhone Air does last me a decent amount of time, more or less the whole day. I've gotten around 10 hours of battery on this phone, give or take. Although take note that that's performance that doesn't involve like heavy gaming or heavy shooting. And of course, I shouldn't need to say, but I'll say it anyway, we all have our different use cases, so battery life will vary. But yeah, it has lasted me throughout the day, though I will say that another point to be made would be that in today's time, we have so many charging facilities that actually trying to drain the battery of this phone for me was pretty hard because I kept on plugging it in and charging it inadvertently. Outside of testing the battery, I feel like the best use case and what worked for me would be topping this phone up little by little throughout the day. So let's say you're working on your computer, just put it on a wireless charger. When I shower, I top it up a little bit. Apple claims that the 20-watt charging on this will power it up until 50% with a 30-minute charge. And though I didn't really feel the need to test that out, let's be honest, there are phones out there that have way faster charging than this. It didn't really matter to me because I found that, again, going through my day, there were so many different chances to charge it a little bit. Okay, so some crazy durability testing showed that the iPhone Air was quite tough, which is not something you would expect on a very thin phone. But I will say this, for the first few weeks that I had this phone, I was repping it naked. And I hate to say this, but at least on one occasion, I did drop it quite bad, and it came out with just a dent in one of these corners, which I can't even find right now. So yes, I would say it is a very durable phone. No, I would not recommend you doing drop tests. Oh, found it. And yes, this phone came out with that tiny scratch, all from a really, really bad fall. Now, these days I've been repping the phone with this. Remember when they sold these? So Apple just came out with these phone bumpers, which we don't really see a lot in the market right now. But with this phone, I feel like it's so perfect because it does protect your phone without making it that much thicker. I love it. Highly recommend getting this bumper if you want the iPhone Air. I will say one thing though, and that is it does not really protect the camera bump, which again, to me, after 1 month of not using a case with it, looks like this. Finally, we're talking about my favorite topic when it comes to smartphones, the camera. So I've heard a lot of people go, don't get the Air because it has bad cameras. I would say, first of all, less cameras or one camera does not necessarily equate to bad cameras. And two, based on the phones I've touched in the last few years, I'd also say that there aren't really any bad cameras on flagship smartphones these days. Like, they're all quite good if you think about it. They're all mostly better than vintage digicams that people have been running around and shooting with these days. And so, to be fair, I think the thing to deal with when you're using the iPhone Air would be the fact that you have only one camera, and that sort of hinders your versatility. So yes, you can do 1x, there is no wide, and yes, you can also zoom, but of course, that zoom that goes up until 10 times, just digital. So basically, the further you go, the quality goes as well. With my month on the iPhone Air, I realized that it's not necessarily the zooms I missed. It was actually shooting with a wide-angle camera that on more than one occasion I wished I had on this phone. I don't know, maybe it's the fact that I can always go near something, but like it's always a little harder to like back up when you want to take a photo of a scene that's like near you. You get what I'm saying? But despite all that, I will say that the one camera that we do have on here, it's actually quite good. Bottom line, yes, your versatility will be limited by that one camera, but also yes, that one camera is a very capable one. Now, the one thing that I do feel like is underrated when it comes to the iPhone Air, and not just the iPhone Air, I feel like the whole iPhone 17 lineup, would be how good the selfie camera's gotten. I know Apple talked a big talk about their center stage selfie cameras, which is a cool feature that I did find I used sometimes. The winning feature for me though would be the selfie camera quality. Just take a look at this. About the iPhone Air after 1 month of using it. One, I would say that I truly enjoy using this phone, which surprised me if I'm honest, because I didn't think I'd love using it this much, and I've always really been team iPhone mini. Now, there are a number of reasons why you shouldn't get the iPhone Air. This is not for you if you want the most versatility on the cameras on your smartphone, obviously. This phone is not for you if you need a monster battery on your phone, if you need it to last more than 1 day on a single charge, no power banks, no anything. Do not get this phone. Basically, if you want an all-in-one camera smartphone device that you can bring around without needing anything else, I don't think this is the phone for you. But a number of reasons why I like this phone. Check out the iPhone Air if you want something sleek and stylish, but it's also an iPhone that covers the basics. Personally, as someone who runs around and enjoys shooting with their cameras, I also very much enjoy bringing this phone because of how lightweight it is, and then double wield it with the camera as I'm shooting. So yeah, if you're someone like me, maybe you'd want to check this out. All in all, solid device. If you have similar use cases as to what I've just spoken about in this video, you might want to check it out. That's it for today. If you want to see how I use my tech on a daily basis, find me online. That's LAZADA_ on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Till next time.